Oh, what happened to my co-pilot? Oh, there we go. What up, Internet? What's going on? Where's the button? I gotta find the button. There's the button. Oh, no. Did I only sort of click the button? There we go. What's up, everybody? It is Monday. Woo! Okay. We're having a wild Monday over here, you guys. I was planning on doing the show much later today and taking some time to do a bunch of edit and stuff. But today is Victoria's birthday. We got to sing happy birthday to Victoria. Everybody, get yourself ready for happy birthday to you. She just closed the door and went into the other room. Happy birthday to you. What's she doing in the other room? I don't know. Happy birthday, Victoria. Happy birthday, my lovely lady. She's incubating a baby. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday to my lovely lady. We've been out strolling around in the beautiful sunshine. What's going on back there? There's chaos noise in the background, you guys. I don't know if the mic can hear it, but alas, there is chaos noise in the background. I think she's getting ready for something. I don't know. As a matter of fact, she's getting ready to go out to dinner. We're going to go out to a little birthday dinner after our birthday running around today. So happy birthday to Victoria, my lovely lady. It is a great day for a birthday. I have to admit, it's about 70 degrees and some lightly speckled with clouds out there. Oh no, I suddenly went into radio voice, you guys. 70 degrees and partly cloudy today on this lovely Monday. Watch out, northbound on the I-5. We got a little fender bender in lane 2 and 3. Slowing it down, we got bumper to bumper. We got chrome to chrome, everybody. Don't lose your mind. Don't have a mental breakdown on the freeway. You're going to have about a 28-minute backup going northbound. Oh, this isn't a radio show, but it's a radio show on the internet. But if it's a radio show on the internet, why am I telling people about traffic? Oh, man, how ridiculous is that? Radio shows blasting out worldwide on the internet. Well, just bear in mind, wherever you are, if there's an I-5, there's probably a traffic jam on it. So maybe that applies to anybody out there. Hopefully you all are having as lovely a day as we are here. We spent a bunch of time walking around down on the waterfront. We're actually currently right now, Victoria is we're petitioning people for a for local fundraiser, which is going to be kind of cool. Which is a local senior center. We help out with the fundraising for a local senior center. And so we went around kind of trying to go to the we tried to go to all the art, the Tacoma Art Museum, the Glass Museum and all that stuff. Turns out everything is broken on Monday, a.k.a. doors locked, signs turned around to the closed direction. So not a big deal. Not a big deal, not a bad deal, right? Not a big deal, not a bad deal. All good things come from unexpected sources, right? We actually did meet some cool local business people, which was fun. And we had some bubble tea. We had a couple other fun things that we were doing today, so that was good. And luckily, we're just, I have Vicky here. She took the day off for her birthday, so we were, I'm doing what the lady wanted me to do and spend the day with her. So that's the big thing. I also got her some presents, which are whatever. And but speaking on some of the some of the automobile front. Actually, since I got back from Germany, we have employed what I would consider to be a much better auto body shop that we're like, dude, we'll get that thing fixed and we'll yell at the insurance company and handle all of that stuff. So I'm happy to say we dropped it off today and they are disassembling the truck. And on a funny note, yours truly, myself, your boy, the dude on the mic, Corvus, Joel, whatever you want to call me, he'd be rocking a dad van. I'll be rocking a dad minivan now. I'll be rocking a dad minivan, and I will tell you something cool. Myself and M. Howie9, if you see him in the chat, if you see Mike Howie, we be rocking the same van. Although mine is temporary, I do not have the funds to own a cool dad van. Mine is only temporary. His, he actually owns. So maybe someday, I will have to admit, having driven around the dad van a little bit here, I'm kind of liking the style, you know what I mean? Maybe it means I'm getting old. Maybe it means I've always liked vans, and I just have to appreciate the cut of the minivan action. This one's quite fun. It is a Dodge version of some kind of elongated turbo van thing, whatever. So definitely appreciate it, and kind of got me thinking, got my wheels thinking, got my wheels turning a little bit to consider rocking a minivan. I'm into it. I think I've been into it the whole time. I just didn't think I was actually going to. I wasn't thinking it was going to be something I was actually actively going to pursue. You know what I mean? So, but maybe I am actually going to pursue it because it's quite comfortable vehicle, and it actually gets even better gas mileage than my old clunker truck. So, and more space in the back. The seats fold down and like, go completely in, so you don't have to like take the seats out. That was really cool. So, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on whether or not I want to like redo an old van though. I don't know. I don't know if I want to get involved in redoing a car again. It's just so much. It's just so much work and so much time and so much clunking and grease in my eyes and transmission fluid all over me and all that kind of stuff. So maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I just want to go with something that doesn't have sharp and pointy and rusty things all over it. You know what I mean? For the baby. We got to think about the baby. Right? We got to think about the baby. We got an important baby coming and I'm super stoked. But let's not forget who was first to the chat here. It's David. It is the first time I've seen David in the chat. Loving it. He's just David. Just plain old David. Quickly followed by my man Daryl Dimer. What is up, Leonie Ballantyne? Also, the first three to the chat. Kudos to you guys. And first time, David. First time first for the David. What's up, man? Definitely appreciating that. It says setting up his first dirted tank. Well, good luck on the dirted tank. I think most people know my take on the dirted tank. I think there's a time and a place for a tank that is dirted. I think if you're going to do that, I would get Diana Wallsted's book and follow the Wallstad method. It's definitely the way to go, but just remember, you're not going to be doing CO2, you're not going to be doing a ton of filtration, and you're not going to be doing a ton of light either. So remember to keep those things in mind if you are thinking about doing a dirted tank, a dirt-based tank. I would definitely do that because, and here's the reason I would say to do it. If you've never done it, it is a fantastic learning opportunity. You're definitely going to learn a lot. More often than not, most of the things that you're going to be learning are based off of disastrous type things going on. But it is a huge, I think it's a great thing that if somebody has never done it and they're really like not years and years into doing planted tanks and stuff like that, I think it's a fantastic thing to jump into and give it a shot because you're certainly going to learn a ton of stuff from having done it. So I think there's a great place for dirted aquariums. But bear in mind, if I am recommending to tell people to try them, it's because you're going to learn a lot from a lot of the downsides that happen. So I would keep that in mind. If you are somebody that doesn't want to encounter all of that nonsense. Like, let's say you, like, here's an example that I often get. Somebody that has kept cichlids for a really long time, and they're like, "Hey man, I wanna dunk my toes in here. I wanna dip my toes." You know, they're like, "I've got 20 years breeding cichlids and doing all that kind of stuff, and I think I wanna dip my toes into some planted tanks and stuff." And I'm like, maybe not a dirted tank for that guy or girl. I've been like, you know, you got your water tests, you got your water quality, you got most of that stuff for sure figured out over those years, and it's only going to be just like a little bit of deviation and learning new species and stuff like that. But I would, you know, for those people, I'd be like, you know, maybe it's not a great learning. It's maybe not going to be a great learning experience. It's probably going to be overly frustrating experience. So, if you know, it's definitely a good learning tool, but it's maybe not great if you already have a strong grasp for aquariums, because it does ultimately, in my opinion, become super frustrating more than anything else. So I would definitely look into that. I've got a lot of people here asking me questions about Kobe. My man Corey from the Aquarium Co-op, as you guys know, the my cohort in crime. We went overseas together. We went to Michigan together, and that is a little bit of the topic for today's video. Is some of the Michigan stuff that doesn't really have, I haven't really formulated a great video for the Michigan trip yet, but I did want to highlight some of the people and some of the stuff that we saw while we were there. And I think, honestly, the video that's coming out that I've been editing is like, it's not telling a great story. So I may have to kind of start over with the edit and figure out exactly what the story is that I'm trying to tell you guys, having gone there. But we'll see how well that comes along. But today's just some kind of cool pictures and stills and stuff like that I had from the Michigan trip. But he's the guy I went with. A lot, like Dwayne Kitchell right now is asking if we've gotten over the illness. I'm happy to say that I'm still kind of congested. I still have some of the crud down in here, but I haven't taken any like medication. I haven't taken any Tylenol or anything like that in over 2 days now. So I've been working. I've been doing as much as I can. I have taken some stuff off of my plate to be able to rest some more. Whatever this cold is, whatever this flu is it's powerful. I'll tell you that. It's a powerful strain. If I didn't know any better, I would think this is a government conspiracy, like it's some kind of government strain of engineered in a lab to try and bring people down or whatever. But I know better. It actually is just your standard issue illness. It probably just has to do with the fact that, Corey and I probably came into contact with some people or whatever, some germs and whatnot in probably Germany, and we're just really not accustomed to them. So we don't really have that much immunity to the things in Germany, because it was the first time Corey and myself had been to Germany physically, right? Maybe mentally, right? Whoa, right? So it's just, it hit us pretty hard. I know that Corey is still down for the count. So those of you that are looking forward to the Real Fish Talk tomorrow is going to be tough luck, because that might reschedule to Thursday, but it looks like we're probably going to miss the Real Fish Talk this week because of illness. I am well enough, and I might end up doing... Maybe I'll end up doing a short show tomorrow. Today's show is a short show. It's only going to be an hour long, so maybe I'll do like a makeup. I'll do a makeup show for the other hour that we're going to miss tomorrow, maybe. And because we don't have the Real Fish Talk tomorrow, I don't know. But I do have an edited video that's going on that I was planning on dropping tomorrow, so I might just end up dropping that tomorrow and just stick with my regular Wednesday. But we shall see. We shall see how it shakes out. I think a lot of that comes down to throw a comment down below, man, if you guys are freaking out or whatever, or you have something that direly needs to be answered. and maybe you don't want it to be answered on the show, and maybe you're somebody who wants to shoot me an email, you can always shoot me an email at joel@darkstararts.com. That is the best way to get a hold of me, as my main man Vince knows, and my main man Charlie knows, my main man Danny, Jamie, Taylor, bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? They know all about it. You guys should know about it too. That is the web address, the web email address that you all can send me an email. If you don't want to send me an email, and maybe you want to be somebody who's helping chip in. I've definitely got the question a lot lately as to, is this my full-time thing? This is mostly my full-time thing. And as you guys know, the goal is to be able to grow the production, to grow the stuff moving forward. And a lot of the people like on the Patreon are the people that are helping do that. And if you want to become a Patreon, it can be as little as $1 a month. It's a monthly charge. You guys can chip in $1, $5, whatever you feel like doing. And if that's something that you're interested in, we'll throw a link for you in the chat. Oh, crap. Where'd it go? Wait for it to load, fool. Well, I have to wait for it to load because I had to update all of my computers the other day, namely being yesterday. I might have to shorten this thing. Let me see if this works. Badoom. Okay, I posted it in the chat there. If you guys are interested in supporting and you're interested in the show moving forward and being able to go and do bigger and better projects, that is kind of the best way to go about doing it. Along with whatever blah, 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 blah I was talking about. You know, if you're scared of the Patreon, don't be scared. It's not a big deal. You know, I appreciate it. 290 people on there. Thank you very much, you guys. It's super cool. It's sad to see some of you go, but it's also really cool to see new people step in. It's really cool. It's really cool. And as I mentioned in a show last week, right? I mentioned in a show last week, the Patreon is one of the greatest tools to be able to go and show the kind of people that make decisions on whether or not a new project may or may not be funded. And the easy way to explain that would be like, just for example, a CEO, right? Most CEO guys, they just, you know, you talk about YouTube numbers, talking about Instagram, whatever it is, they don't understand it. But the one thing that they definitely understood was the Patreon. When I would show them the Patreon, where I go like, you know, this is how many people want me to keep making a show right now. And they would just go, ding, a little light bulb would go exploding off into their brain. And they would be like, oh, now's I gets it. And you're like, cool. So I'm looking forward to the next couple of months of having more of those conversations and seeing how they go. I'm super excited to be able to hopefully bring you guys some a lot of new videos. Hopefully be able to head out and document some cool stuff and then be able to bring that to you guys like, you know, via the power of the used tubes, right? But all that stuff is all because all that stuff is basically because of you guys, and I appreciate it a lot. Bracken says, having to lower my pledge while I'm jobless. Sorry, man, but I'm on the hunt for another job to help support. Yeah, Bracken's on my short list of people to hire, by the way. If anybody's ever wondering, that guy's on my short list of people to hire. If we ever get to that point, if we ever get to the point where I can hire somebody, he's on the short list. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed hire. I mean, come on. We got a serious interview process around here where, you know, you got to do a Spartan race and all that kind of stuff. Let me check up here with the chat a little bit while I get myself a little hello, Mr. Brown's action. Oh, M. Howie was here, but he's in lurker mode. He's back going out to work on the barn. He's in lurker mode. Oh, yeah. Gone Wishing says, not very many likes. All right, guys, I guess we have to do the like spike here. We got to take 5 seconds to do the like spike. Everybody get your little like button finger worked out. You get it stretched. You go like this. You give it a little snap, crackle, pop. Give it a little na 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 na, and then get it all ready. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, whoops, not that one. 2, 1. A ciao. Hit the like, and then we'll move on, and we'll not even talk about the likes anymore. Mr. Fuzzy Fish, or Mrs. Fuzzy. I don't know if Fuzzy Fish is a Mr. or a Miss. We'll just say Fuzzy Fish then. Says, can you work for 1 Mr. Browns a day? Bracken can do it. Bracken could work for 1 Mr. Browns a day. That's right. Schwisky says, why is it that beautiful weather always attracts ugly traffic? Not sure. I'm unsure of that. Fishing Key Largo says, already liked. Should I unlike real quick? I don't know. I don't really know how any of that works. But I'm supposed to. Apparently, part of the YouTube game is just to petition people for likes and stuff, right? Which I don't even understand some of that. Some of the time, I don't even get it. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I don't either. Right? Challenger's asking, have you ever dipped into the cichlid side? Yes, I have. I have for sure dipped into the cichlid side. I'm a big fan of cichlids. I'm just not a big fan of keeping them myself. I'm terrible at naming them, first of all. Second of all, I'm good at maintaining them, keeping them healthy, keeping them breeding, and actually, maintaining a cichlid aquarium. But I am god-awful at naming them. I'm just terrible at it. But the biggest thing for me is the aesthetic side of it, is that I get so grouchy at an aquarium that doesn't have some real appeal amongst the whole area of the tank. And oftentimes, cichlid tanks do tend to get a bit boring for me, which it's a little bit, it's more just like a personal preference, you know what I mean? It's like why I wouldn't paint my house black or something. Although I did see a charcoal painted house the other day. It looked really snappy. I just wouldn't do it myself. So I dig cichlids. I think they're cool. I have some dwarf cichlids myself. We have the cribensis. Wait, our cribs. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Are cribs dwarf cichlids? I feel like an idiot right now. I could be totally wrong, right? Yeah. Okay, cribs are dwarf cichlids. I just felt like I said something completely wrong there. But no, right. Yeah. They're from the jungly area of Cameroon. Okay, so I do have some dwarf cichlids. I've definitely had some dwarf cichlids over the years. Turtle Girls reminded me of the apistogramas. They are dwarf cichlids also. So I do definitely, I like the dwarf cichlids, right? For sure. Personally, right now, I can't keep any big cichlids because they just hammer town on my tanks. And that just ends up being an issue. Daniel Scary says, hey, Joel, quick hello at work. Hey, it's good to stop in if you're at work, say hi, and then hit the like button, and then come back later and just comment a whole bunch. That'll always be, I'm into that. Thumbs up. I love it. Or the share thing or something. I don't know. Whatever. I think we're just, I don't know. I think we got a small community here and we're doing fine. We hit the like button and that's probably enough. I wasted your time talking about the Patreon. That's probably good enough. And we also talked about all that other stuff. So let's just keep answering some questions here. Yeah, I still have a cough, you guys, but I'm not dead. 54 Punchy says, does it matter what finger I use? Sometimes it does. Sometimes it matters. But, you know, Robert Merle says, if you guys get sick from going to Germany, be careful going to the jungles of Peru. Make sure you get your shots. Robert, I am not going to the jungles of Peru as far as I know. I really can't afford it. I just can't afford it. I really just can't. It's the middle of summertime. I don't have plane tickets. They cost a lot, and it's gonna cost a ton of money to go down there. So not only is it gonna cost a bunch, but that means I'm also gonna be away for a couple of weeks. And honestly, if I'm gonna be away for a couple of weeks, that costs a lot of money too, because I can't make money while I'm gone. So it's even more money that I would have to come up with in order to go do that. So it's just part of life, you know. Those guys are going to Peru. They're gonna document it. It's gonna be great. Joseph Harden's going from JH Aquatics. He's going. Corey's going. Dwayne's going. A bunch of people are going that are going to document it. So I think it's going to be more than handled, and I'm not super sad about it or anything. It's just a matter of life. It's just going to cost too much money, and the middle of summer is one of the big times for me to earn money. You know, if I can set up and paint somebody's house in 2 days, I can make a lot of money versus doing something else, like wandering around in Peru and hoping that and basically, like, when you get down to reality sense, it's like you're kind of hoping that whatever video you shoot there is going to make some money, right, from like YouTube or whatever, from views or whatnot. But that's not necessarily ever been my experience from posting videos on YouTube. You know, the AdSense money that I make is like, it's really not that much. I'd have to look it up, but it's like $200 a month or something like that. So if I was reliant and hoping that those videos were going to like make a bunch of money, they just don't. So that's really the check and balance of that whole situation. And just going out of town like that again probably isn't going to work. I'm hoping beyond hope that there are some other trips that I may or may not be able to go on to, but just basically waiting for a lot of that stuff to come down the pipe or not. Smeal Kapoor says, hello, sir. Hey, guys, just recabled all the lights and redone all the airlines. Yes, 4 hours work. Well, that sounds like cable management, and if we're talking about cable management, I'm a big fan. That's what it's all about. Get those cables all cleaned up. Get those airlines all cleaned up. Streamline the design and get the thing working well. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, that's what happens, I guess. Sometimes I talk about the Patreon and it goes down. But that's all right. I missed who it was, but somebody, let me roll back up here. Somebody was asking, Ian says, actually, most of the time people get sick from being on the plane ride. I would certainly, not only do I agree with that, I'm pretty sure that I got I got sick while on the plane. I got sick on the plane ride back. About halfway through, I suddenly started getting congested. I started getting all boogery. I was having problems halfway through the flight. I got on the flight, 5 hours into it, no problem. The last 5 hours, I was feeling haggard, not good. So probably did have something to do with the plane ride. And like I said, I'm not actually talking about conspiracies. I'm making jokes about it being a conspiracy because I think it's funny. It's some kind of conspiracy to bring us down, right? But it's not. It's not a conspiracy. I just got sick. But Corey is going to be out tomorrow, so we're not going to be doing the real fish talk, which is kind of rough, you know. But David says, I did look at the Wallstead method, half her book, and I'm trying the filterless dirted tank. Digging it, man. I definitely appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you have the actual book of the actual perfected method. And be sure to get that book and check it out because that's the way to go if that's what you're going to do. There's a lot of bad information out there. Speaking of, oh, and by the way, we were talking about cichlid tanks. Cichlid tanks oftentimes come into the same realm for me as a lot of big fish tanks. There are a lot of big fish tanks out there that they have like a bare bottom, or they just simply have like they either have a bare bottom or they just have gravel and like no fixtures in it or anything like that. Like for instance, like a flower horn, right? You can't really have stuff in with a flower horn because all they do is just run into it and ram into it and do all that kind of stuff. And then I start to get pretty bummed out about the. I get pretty bummed out by just the look of the deal, and then there's just nothing I can really do with it. So I just leave that stuff up to other people that are like way into it. It's not a matter of me like it's not a matter of me like getting upset because like I don't like them. I do like them. It's just the amount of time invested to maintain the tank and the system and the fish and all that kind of stuff is just like it's lacking some of the stuff that I really want. And what I'm really looking for. So that's the deal. But there are a lot of people out there that post stuff about cichlid tanks and empty bottom tanks, which I think is kind of a goof. It's kind of weird that people would even make a video of that. But, you know. Let's see. Meat Man, formerly Pork Slinger, says, good afternoon. Well, good to see you, my man. David says, if this 10-gallon works well, I'm thinking about doing either the 75 or the 120 this way. Be sure to run it long enough. Run it for a few months at least before you make that decision. I would say 6 to 9 months would probably be the best amount of time to really get an actual evaluation on whether you enjoy those systems or not. John Kluker says... Them being jet lag lowers your immune system, which doesn't help. That's true. Let's see. What a Jerk Aquariums with our first super chat of the day. I didn't even realize that was our first super chat of the day. I thought we were just kind of having fun here talking. But we got a serious question here from What a Jerk Aquariums. Which, by the way, I dig that. It's pretty funny. Is asking, are African butterfly fish difficult to keep? I would not put African butterfly fish on my difficult to keep list. I would not put them on there. They're pretty easy. As far as in my consideration, they don't get super huge. They're not, they're not like wildly aggressive. They will eat stuff. But it's just the big deal is that you do have to feed them meat and stuff like that, and a lot of not necessarily live foods, but you do have to feed them like frozen food and stuff like that. But you can't feed them actually frozen. You have to thaw them out. That was always kind of one of the big pains to do it. But you do have to maintain their water quality, that's for sure. And I almost think like when it comes down to like difficult fish, it's always like trying to fight against your water. So I would find what your water is and see if it falls in line so that it's much easier to do water changes and keep your water chemistry the way that it needs to be. So I would test your water where you're at a few times and then start to see which fish are necessarily falling within that biotope that you're trying to build. But I wouldn't put them really down as a difficult fish personally. But they in my experience, they won't eat pellets or dry food and stuff like that, which generally is kind of the pain. And sometimes you will have to be hatching like mosquito larvae and stuff like that for them. But Swag Skywalker says his eat pellets. That's cool. In my experience, the ones that I was around and I've been around before didn't eat pellets and dry food and stuff like that, or flake. They would just swim right past it but then again, I didn't try every kind, so You never know. Gone Wishing's asking Frank about a mountain lion. What's going on with a mountain lion? That's kind of crazy. Let's see. Insightful fish keeping. Hey, all. Just got off work. But hopefully I answered that question. Hopefully I answered that question. I was supposed to be moving soon, trying to hold off, changing a bunch of stuff. Ed's Fish says, I hate bare bottoms except in reef tanks. Oh, sometimes the bare bottom tanks can actually be really cool in a reef tank. Although I personally do like a sandy bottom tank in a reef tank because you know what I'm talking about. Sand sifting. I love sand sifters. They're some of my favorites for sure. God Mission says someone was killed in California. 54 punches. 54 Punchy says that was Washington in North Bend. All right, what's going on with this mountain lion? Let's go. What? Let's go to the internet. Let's go to the internet. Mountain lion, did they capture it? I bet you that will do it. Mountain lion caught after it entered Azusa, California. Oh my gosh, it's been captured. Official large mountain. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. I did see the other day, like something popped up about a mountain lion in Washington, but either way, you guys, I wouldn't stress out too much about a mountain lion. It'll be handled. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about it. Unless you're right near a mountain lion, then worry about it. Although a weirdo old buddy of mine had a mountain lion that lived on his porch. And I always thought that mountain lion was going to eat him because he lived up in the mountains. He lived way up in the mountains. His commute to work was like 3 hours, but he would stay in town during the week. And he had a mountain lion that lived on, he had these like 2 Barca loungers on his front porch. And mountain lion picked one of them and decided that's where it was going to be. And he said he would feed it pizza, which is bizarre, but probably not that strange considering, my dogs would eat pizza, and they're pretty ridiculous. Let's move on to the video portion, because today's is a short show. I think it's this button. Boom! All right, you guys, I have to say that I definitely liked Michigan. I had a great time there again. This is, I've been there before. And I've been back again. Always happy to make it to Michigan. Love the people there. Love the fact that there's ice cream all over the place. Look at that. Look at that shot of the fish fam. That's the Turbo Fish and the Turbo Baby. You got to check them out. And here's just a rambling video of going around one of the stores in Michigan. I would have to say that this store right here, pretty typical stuff. Nothing out of this world crazy, but nothing out of this world ghetto either. You know, it was definitely just like, hey, here's just like a cool fish store. You could go there. They had a lot of species, which was definitely one of the things that was over the top. They had a lot of species set up. They had a lot of tanks set up. And it definitely had the kind of stuff that you could be looking to get. Prices were definitely pretty reasonable in Michigan. They weren't totally crazy or anything like that. And happy to say that we were definitely hosted really well by the people in Michigan. I don't have any footage here from the convention other than just some photos and stuff from while I was there, but I will continue to reiterate the biggest thing that I got to encounter while I was in Michigan was the #FishFam. #FishFam, right? I was very enthusiastic to have met the Fish Fam again, get to run into some people, and also just have time to just hang out with people and get to spend time with some people that are fish fanatics. So the Live Bearer Association is what we were there for, and so most of the people there were like, they were down with guppies, you know. They was down with, I'm drawing a blank right now, like swordtails and Why am I drawing a blank? It's of course like while I'm talking about it is while I draw a blank. But most of the cool live bearer fish that were there, all pretty much some very rare ones also, and some pretty common ones that were definitely pretty line bred to be looking so fantastic and stuff like that. But for me, realistically, the biggest part of being there is to meet the people and actually have conversations with people that I've talked online with for years and years and years, or actually get to meet people for the first time that I've never met before, and or get to hang out with some old friends that I've definitely met before. And that is almost always the biggest thing for me at these kind of conventions and stuff like that. It's not that it's not that I'm like burnt out or anything like that, because that is certainly not the case, and I'm certainly not being underappreciative, right? But oftentimes I go to a lot of these stores, it's a lot of stuff that I have already seen, you know what I mean? So and a lot of the stuff that I'm super zazzed about seeing is getting opportunity to see some of the stuff in the wild and seeing where it actually is from. And obviously, things aren't necessarily from stores. So I do sometimes get a little like, oh, okay, a store, here we go. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's true. It's truly honest about how that kind of stuff goes on from time to time. But to me the coolest, the best and coolest parts is being able to really get to hang out with the people that take the time to show up and stuff like that, because everybody's just like so cool and enthusiastic to be there. You know what I mean? And it's so much fun to be able to talk to people that are like enthusiastic about like just being there and getting to talk about fish and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's really one of the big focal things that I for sure am so happy about. But we do have a super chat here, you guys. We has a super chat we got to address from David Foster. Thank you, David Foster. Much appreciated. Asks, have you ever had bubbly eye problems with any of your chickens? Also, is it a bad idea to feed my Oscar mealworms sold for chickens? Luckily, with the current chickens that we have, we've had some of them for like 3 years now, something like that. We've had some of those for 3 years now. We have never had any kind of bubble eye or anything kind of crazy like that. We haven't had any styes or any of that kind of stuff. We haven't really had any kind of weird eye problems with them. And as far as I know, I'm trying to remember what some of the treatments were. I can't remember exactly what the treatments were, but they were like fairly intrusive, if I recall. But if you do have to ever put eye drops into your chicken, it's kind of a big pain in the butt, but you have to catch each one, grab them by the legs, flip them upside down, and let them hang upside down for a little while, and then they sort of just chill out. They sort of just like... It's like if you flip a shark over, they just sort of go to sleep, kind of. And then you can like kind of turn their head and like irrigate their eye if you need to. And that's the same way that you would administer like oral medicine for your chicken too. But it would just be a dropper that goes into their mouth. So that's one. That's definitely one way to deal with that. But if I did have any kind of bubbly eye issue or styes or anything like that, I would definitely take them to the vet, or at least get the vet to help out and with any kind of treatment or anything like that. The feeding of the Oscar, the mealworms that are sold for chickens, I think the only downside would be is feeding it to them in the dry form that you get for chickens. They're like completely freeze dried, but I would not imagine that there is any problem with feeding those to an Oscar because they really are just mealworms freeze dried. So they should be fine. I think the only issue might be is the fact that they are freeze dried. The Oscar might be having issues with just like how crunchy and weird it is from it being freeze dried, but I would be really surprised to find out. I can tell you for sure that feeding hot dogs to Oscars, they'll go for it, but it is a bad idea. They won't survive. They'll survive for a while. They won't survive long. I can tell you that for sure. Let's see here. Leslie's Fish Room says, just left my local Petco. They gave me a couple of huge pieces of rock out of their tanks for a monetary donation. They are raising money for feline cancer research. Oh. Not bad. Not bad. Decent. Good deal, Petco. I'm liking it. That's actually not a... That's kind of a good deal. I would like that. Okay. Thumbs up, Petco. I like that. That's a good thing. Let's see. 54 Punchy says the pH in my water has taken a nosedive this week. Probably snow melt. Tap is coming out 6.8 right now. That would be my guess, too. The only time my pH is ever high here is the deep end of summer. When it just hasn't rained for like 3 or 4 months kind of thing, and everything's just been coming out of the reservoir, and the reservoir's been getting lower and lower. That's the only time our pH ever gets that very high. But then the rain starts coming down and starts grabbing some of that free floating carbon in the air and dropping the pH down in the reservoir as it all comes falling from the sky at 100 million miles an hour, right? Scott Schultz is here saying, what up, fish nerds? Yeah, what up? What up, you old fish nerds? What are you doing? Secret History says, do the nitrates in hot dogs get into the water too? Serious question. I'm not sure if the nitrates would, but I know the nitrites will from the hot dogs. Also, I would bear in mind there are a ton of sulfites, phosphate, and a bunch of other crap in hot dogs. It is big time bad news. That was many years ago, at least over 20 years ago, that the feeding hot dogs to an Oscar, a big giant Oscar, may or may not have been fed hot dogs and survived for a day and a half and then died after that. Mr. Gillett is asking, do you think a clown knife would eat mealworms all right? I've had minimal experience with clown knives, honestly. I think they're cool fish, but they would thrash. They thrash. No, well, they don't necessarily thrash planet tanks, but they are kind of chaos in a planet tank. So I never really wanted to have a clown knife because of how big they get. But they might find mealworms. I doubt they would find the dry ones though. But maybe you could like rehydrate them and drop them in. I don't know. David says, thanks for the info. I'll most likely take my hen in. I was trying to treat her with something called Vet RX, but it still has not gone away. Yeah, that definitely could be a problem. Tampa Tom's asking, Joel, if you could have some dwarf crayfish, which color would you pick, orange or blue? Oh, boy, howdy. I think these days I would definitely go with the blue. I did own some orange ones at one point in time, which will not tell anybody that I actually owned any at any point in time, and they were problematic for me and ended up getting rid of them. But I think these days I would definitely go with the blue. Sorry. Backtrack. I had the blue at one point in time. Wait. No, I had the orange ones. Gosh, what's wrong with me? Come on now. Come on, brain. Catch up. I had orange ones. These days, I probably would opt for some nice dark blue ones. That would be what I would be looking for. Yeah, and I don't know why I kept getting that mixed up. Hard to say. It is Monday. Let's see. People talking about tracking info and sending fish. Well, that's good. Hopefully somebody's getting some new fish. That'd be cool. Ed's Fish says, my old dog loved raw potatoes. I think that can be bad for dogs. I know it can be bad for people. You're not supposed to eat raw potatoes. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, Daryl Dimer. We got a $20 super chat from Mr. Dimer himself. Oh, thanks, buddy. You're making my workday worthwhile. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it, my man. Is it all about money? Not really. But I do have to pay for this birthday dinner, which, by the way, Vicky says she's going to be getting lobster, which I don't hate on her for that. It's a smooth move. It's a smart move because she wants lobster. So my baby will get lobster. Oh, there she is. Vicky is in the chat. Vicky's in the chat. Oh, man, I'm excited. There she is. She says raw potatoes are super bad. Members of the nightshade family. Yep. That's why you're not supposed to eat raw potatoes. Not supposed to. I don't know. But maybe the dog was doing well with it. Oh, she died a long time ago of old age. Got it. Janet Wittenberg Bachelor is asking, is there a guppy with crown tails? Have not seen any anywhere. Kang Lee of Twin City Guppies. I would contact Kang Lee if you can figure out how to get a hold of Kang Lee. Twin City Guppies. Sunia is around often, sometimes too. I know that there are crown tail varietals. I'm not. I mean, they're crown tail-ish. But I'm super into the short guppy tails. I'm into the short guppy tails. So I haven't looked super hard to find those, but I have seen them around. And obviously, if you're not in Western Washington, I can't be like, hey, go to this store, you know. But I would contact Kang Lee. He'd be a great source for that. Or at least he could point you in the right direction of going like, hey, check these out. Maybe these are good. But I would definitely check out Kang Lee. Also, check out his videos if you feel like it. He's got a cool YouTube channel. It's up and coming. He's kicking ass, taking names, doing the old Minnesota thing out there. Twin Cities. Twin Cities. Do, do, do. Boom. All right, let's get out of the, I was going to say let's get out of the video segment, but let's just move out of the video segment because I feel like most people have seen it already. And we'll be coming up here on the last 5 minutes, you guys, and we're going to have to take Victoria to a lovely birthday dinner, which I am happy to say. I've also got some more of her presents down here that I'm going to give her, and if she doesn't like them, then we will throw them on the ground and dance on them like wild animals. I don't know. I can't think of really anything that's going on. Somebody was asking about this picture back here, and I forgot to answer what is up with this picture. They're asking, what is this picture for? Well, first and foremost, you could get a sticker of that. You could get a t-shirt of that if it's something that you think is either funny or not. I don't know. Maybe you don't want it. At some point in time, I will sell this thing to somebody, probably, if somebody wants to buy it. If not, guess what I'll do? Our house is littered with a bunch of paintings that I have done myself, and we will post it up on the wall, and we'll just have a laugh every time we walk by it. You know? But, you know, I was basically making that painting back there, right? As just kind of a base design, essentially for some of the t-shirts that we made for the channel, and that's the finished product. And I like having it back there because right now I don't have anything I'm really painting on, and I was hoping to start something new tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see if you guys get to check that out or not. Who knows? Mateo saying Red Lobster, here they come. I'm not sure we'll be going to Red Lobster. I don't know. I don't know where we're going to be going. But Vicky said she definitely has to have fish for dinner. So we had fish yesterday, which was pretty cool. So 2 days in a row. I'm digging it. Excuse me, I'm still coughing. Trying to cough off mic, but, you know. John Gonzalez with a $5 super chat here, man. I'm digging it. Thanks, buddy. Says, born and raised in Michigan. Love to hear you like the Mitten State. Unfortunately, I live in Massachusetts now. Massachusetts is nice. Also, so is Michigan. I enjoy them both. Two wonderful places. They both get super cold. They both get nice in the summer, that's for sure. I'm not sure about Massachusetts' delicious ice creams, though. I think Massachusetts is probably lacking in the ice creamery that Michigan is in. It feels like they're probably lacking in the ice creameries. You know what I mean? Susan for SLC Aquatics posted the Twin Cities Guppies at gmail.com in the chat. So if anybody out there is looking for some specific guppies or possibly where you could be going, or where you could be going to be looking for some, I bet that is going to be a fantastic resource for anybody who's looking for specific guppies, and you can actually get them shipped and all that kind of jazzy jazz. You don't actually have to go to their storefront to do it, which is a big help. It's a wonderful helper these days, you know, if you're able to order them up and get them sent out. We got a $5 super chat from one asterisk. What's wrong with me? Aquaria. One asterisk Aquaria. There we go. That's a tongue twister. If I ever twisted my tongue, I'm going to get my tongue twisted up in a tongue-tied tongue twister. You know what I'm saying? It's a twister, babe! She says it's a twister. Verified. Says, gotta follow Mr. Dimer with these 5 bones. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. The other Bob Kaylor, is saying like spike. We did the like spike earlier, so hopefully that worked out. I have no idea. When I checked this stream, we had 1 dislike and 2 likes. So I felt like we were doing pretty good because the dislikers were outnumbered 2-1, and I felt like we were doing pretty darn good. And I always have a laugh at the hater trying to hate, which is funny because they're obviously subscribed. They obviously have their notifications turned on all the time because, hey, you show up right after I upload that we're going to even do we're even going to do a live stream. They show up right away. You know, which is funny. 54 Punchy says 3 dislikes right now, and I think 3 is good enough to hit the mark, right? I'm digging it, which means we pissed off 3 people. They're probably going to leave me nasty comments about how I'm ugly or whatever. I'm going to tell you something. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. I love you guys. We're gonna go out to dinner here. We're gonna get some birthday dinner rocking and rolling. Steve's is asking East Coast tour, and Massachusetts does have some decent ice creams. Okay, I would love to do an East Coast tour at some point in time. I know that the aquatic experience is going to be in New Jersey this year, New Jersey 2018, which is going to be what's the word? New Jersey, 2018, aquatic experience. I will be there for that. I even have my hotel reservation. I have my plane tickets. We've already purchased the plane ticket, so I'll be at the aquatic experience. They might not let me in this year. Who knows? I might have to hang out outside and, you know, like, just find a chair outside and just sit out there. It's possible. They might not let me in. They'll be like, you, get out of here. And I'll be like, okay, I'll hang out outside. People are saying no real fish talk tomorrow. That is right. There will be no fish talk tomorrow, right? because Kobe is super sick still. I am recovering still, but you guys, I'll make a deal with you guys. If this live stream gets over 3,000 views by tomorrow, I'll do an extra live stream tomorrow. How about that? How about that? If you guys share it all out there and get people to watch it or whatever, I'll do an extra one tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll just take like a strong nap and work on my painting game instead, right? But I can't ignore KG Cichlids dropping a $2 super chat right here at the end, saying, before I go, have a coffee on me with a thumbs up, pizzow. Well, thanks, KG. Much love to my YouTube homie. YouTube homie. YouTube homie. YouTube homie. This is a weird way to end a live stream, but that's okay. Everybody out there, have a fantastic evening. I'm gonna go give a kiss to my birthday girl. Ah! Oh man, I lost the button. Where's that button at? Later.